Hi, I'm Kathy Mills from Short Film Edits, and I'm here with the cast of Hello, Let's Get Married. How are you?
Hello, good to see you, Kathy.
Hello.
Hey, hey.
Hi. Um, so we'll start with JJ.
Yeah.
How did this role help you grow professionally compared to your previous work?
Totally. So, as we were talking a little bit about before this interview started, I had been modeling for 10 and a half years. Within that, I'd done commercials and music videos, but this was my first legitimate acting role where I had dialogue and a character. So, I mean, this was my foundation in terms of paid work.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. Okay, John,
Yes,
did collaborating with the cast influence your performance choices?
of course, of course. If they're on the same wavelength and they're accessible, Peyton, we had that one reel, that one beautiful scene,
It
and if
was
it
still
wasn't
one of my favorites I've ever filmed for
if it
virtual.
wasn't for the feed that you gave me, the total commitment to, look, when you look in someone's eyes, forget about your character, forget about anything else. Two human beings just look in each other's eyes,
Yeah.
and something happens or something doesn't happen.
Yes.
And you were, the minute we looked at each other, it was wide open and real and honest and vulnerable. And it was just, oh, let's just ride this out, and that's a
Yeah.
rarity. Because I'll tell you what, I haven't had a moment really like that since.
I would actually say the same. I sorry to jump on John's question.
Yeah, go for it.
It was so lovely because I mean we acknowledged it as well. So
Yeah.
that's never happened to me since either. And we both felt this really real moment, like yeah, between two actors that it was really wholesome, it was really beautiful. And yeah, I just felt safe with John to lean into that emotion. And I remember after that scene, you were like, is this your first project in LA? And I said, yeah. And you said, well, being how much you just gave me as a scene partner, you'll go a long way because I really felt that. And I did as well. So I'll never forget that scene. And I haven't had one like it either where I felt connected in that way. So thank you.
Well, the writing has to come into play, doesn't it, Kathy? Because,
Mm.
being a writer as well, is that if it's a bad script, it's hard, no matter how genuine you want to be in the
Yeah.
moment. If the bad,
Yeah.
it was a beautiful script all the way around, I thought.
It really was. Well, now doing other verticals, I'm like, man, we all got lucky with that first one.
You
Isn't that
did.
the
You
And I
truth?
don't think we realized how lucky we were at the
Yeah,
time because
no,
it
you're right.
was it was pretty wholesome. It there was something to grab onto it. It still touched on, all the vertical things that it needed, like drama. But man, we
Yeah,
got lucky with that one.
yeah. I don't think there were any
Yeah.
slaps in it, were there?
Hmm.
There was thrown coffee.
Oh,
I
there's
know there
always
was
throwing
thrown
some
coffee.
liquids on you.
You
Yeah,
did
that's
that,
true.
Peyton.
I
Yeah.
It was
did.
great. It was
I
great.
have an arm on me too from sports, and I remember thinking, "Oh, I just threw that so hard on
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Savannah, and I felt so bad." But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think there was any slaps. Now that we
No,
say that,
No,
no.
that's
yeah,
good. Now, there are so many beautiful moments in that. So I'm guessing you're referring to the bedroom scene when he gave you the dress. Is that the part you're
yes,
referring to?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I
exactly.
just had to guess that one.
I mean,
There
the
were
Well,
so many
cereal one
beautiful
between
scenes.
us as well. My grandpa was like my favorite person in the world before he passed. And when we were sitting down, me and John, and eating cereal,
Yeah.
I had like a real flashback of me and my own grandfather. And once again, very real scene. And yeah, it was so nice to be able to sit in that.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
Okay, Peyton, how did you build confidence when stepping into a new role?
Oh man. I think it would kind of maybe surprise people. I struggle with confidence. I will say that's how I know I'm kind of in the right field of what my dream is I feel some kind of alignment when I'm on set. But confidence is a hard one for me. I'm pretty hard on myself. I doubt myself a lot. And I think that's why when I play a confident role and some people are like, that looks really good on you, then I'm like, all right, that's acting within itself because I overthought it or I didn't feel connected or I thought I sucked in that scene. And then you see how it looks to, or even when it gets released and you're like, I know I didn't feel great about that scene, but it lands some way, somehow, hopefully. So yeah, to get confidence, I do pray sometimes before going into scene. And I'll pray that I have people see God's light within me. I've started doing that my last few projects and sticking to that. So yeah, hopefully people recognize some kind of confidence or light in me. And I think yeah, I think I actually struggle with that, but that I probably get it from the Lord, to be honest.
I
Something
can
outside
relate
of
with the whole
myself in
confidence
those
thing.
moments. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody in somewhat can relate to the confidence thing, but
Yeah.
then when you get put into a environment where you just have to be confident, you just have to do it, it kind of
Yes.
switches. It's
Yeah.
like you just find it somewhere, you know. So
Exactly.
I
Finding
can,
it some way is a great way to describe that, because I couldn't even sit here and say, this is my preparation, because I do struggle with that. So I think you find it in the moments where you don't really have a choice. And that's kind of that as an artist. Like I just watched an interview of the girl who plays Superwoman and a new actress. And in the interview, someone said, was it putting on the suit and the armor that made you finally arrive to the character and made you get there? And she laughed and said, you never arrive to the character. And I thought that was, yeah. And I thought, okay, this is a girl who just booked Superwoman. She should be the most confident, girl in the room. And she said, oh, you never arrive. And I certainly didn't. So
yeah,
I thought that was very interesting. And I very much relate to that.
yeah, I understand. I mean, some of the interviews I get told by people that even like in their first interviews, they're so nervous because even though they've acted for ages, they don't have to be themselves
Yeah,
on set. But in like an interview setting, they're vulnerable, they're themselves. So it's like a different atmosphere and a different feeling, so
it
to speak.
is. It absolutely
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Okay. There's a joint question. JJ, we'll start with you. What skills beyond acting did you rely on most during filming?
That's a good question. I mean, I think, like I took a public speaking class, and then I've like held a lot of positions within various organizations over college, high school, middle school, etc. I've had a lot of opportunities to speak in front of large groups of people. And I think if I didn't have that skill set previously, it would have been very hard to get in front of a room full of people and like play this CEO or this powerful figure character. So I'd say that was definitely one of the biggest skill sets. And then going back to what we were saying prior to the interview itself is just modeling. Like the
Mm.
camera awareness comes from the modeling world. And I've been on social media since 2014, and I've had the opportunity to do a lot of like video or social media commercials or whatever the case. So those two skill sets have been the most helpful, I'd say.
How about you, John?
Well, what I noticed as we were shooting is that both of you guys were cool enough to reveal your backstories and how much experience you'd had, and were a bit shy about it. And shyness was good for the characters because
Mm.
I never felt a moment of insecurity, but I did feel that you were fish out of water, both of you, and then eventually you had to absorb it, right, and take over. And I think
Yeah.
it works so effectively against the bad guys. Remember
Right.
the couple that were trying to run the system through all the marketing and all that, and they saw a different vision, and we had to stop them. Uh, it made it far more realistic. You talk about JJ and how you hadn't done that much acting, but that all worked for you because you hadn't been what you're going to have to be in the story either.
Mm.
There's a growth there, so it's great that you
Yeah.
didn't have that great experience.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
how
is.
about you, Peyton? Sorry,
I'm
I'm so,
jumped
sorry.
forward
I
there.
so
didn't really
sorry.
answer your question. I'm sorry I didn't exactly answer your question there, Kathy.
But
I
that's
love
okay.
that though. That's a great
Yeah,
note. I'm
that's
so sorry. Will you
beautiful.
repeat the like full question? I'm a
Of
squirrel.
course. What skills beyond acting did you rely on most during filming?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. Hmm.
Oh, you're asking Peyton, right?
I have the
Yeah.
mic, I guess. Um, that's a great question. As far as I don't know. To be completely honest with you, I was really banking on acting skills when I
Mhm.
walked on set. I just came from Nashville, where I took film and television training for 4 years. Um, so I don't know if I leaned on any skills other than that, as I really did feel out of my element. It was my first project in LA, but I will say I leaned on the connection with JJ, the connection with John, and I really leaned on that to kind of get me through the project, was just connect with these people, and I got so lucky with both of them. And so thank God for the cast, is I think that's what I leaned on, was just the connections we were making in this very new experience. And I don't think yeah, other than maybe communication skills, because I talk a lot, as you
Yeah.
can see, I don't think I leaned on anything else, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good. All right, one more joint question. John, we'll start with you. How did you all approach building chemistry on set?
I think we try to spend as much time just getting to know one another,
Yeah.
and feel
Mm,
that we would have a bit of a rapport that we could then carry to the show. And we talked about the script a lot. We talked about a lot of the scenes. We didn't rehearse that much. I think we
No.
mm,
talked it through more than anything else. And what was nice is we could share ideas.
yeah.
Once we'd done our homework with the scripts, then it was a question of sharing ideas. What do you think about this? What about if we do this? And all the inventions that actors do. And when you collaborate, it's so much better, And that's the most fun for me. That's the most fun part of it. Everything
I
that you
agree.
build that isn't on the page.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
all.
How
That's
about you,
all.
JJ?
I think it was just very organic.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, kind of like going back to what Peyton and John said about looking into another human's eyes and seeing their story, seeing their journey, whether it was discussed or not. And, from me to John, like I looked at him as just this older, more advanced man, a mentor, if you will. I was asking him lots of questions. I saw how he was pulling the Robert De Niro speaker in the ear trick for a scene. Like he was really showing me things that like I still haven't seen to this day. And then with
mm,
Peyton, like I just think that there was a really deep soul connection that at least I experienced and was
yeah.
able to feel into.
I love that. How about you, Peyton?
Yeah, I have to piggyback off of these guys. I felt,
Yeah.
like I said, like John felt like my grandpa, like a lot of the
Mm,
same. I know he's still a young buck, but that was that was the connection that I felt with John, is it was just very organic. It made me like miss my grandfather. They have very similar energies. So as far as the chemistry with John, it really was so effortless. And I love that the vertical fans always comment on the scene between me and John that you brought up, is because people really felt that as well. And I think what was so special about this set, and I have not experienced this again, so it'll always hold a special place in my heart. But the chemistry you're seeing between the characters on this set was very organic, like JJ said, and
mm,
it was very real. We weren't really forcing anything. Yeah, meeting JJ, yeah, everything, we went on this first experience with each other. We've talked about this before. We were like, man, we had no idea what world we were entering in the vertical space,
mm,
as we were just two new actand LA. And so we really leaned on each other. I mean, me and JJ prayed before scenes. Meeting a fellow Christian in the space was so beautiful. And
yeah.
yeah, it's a funny joke that I always like to tell, but the director was trying to direct us during mine and JJ's meet cute scene.
Mm.
And she's like, this is a really important scene. It's the opening. So you guys really need to look like you're so connected. And me and JJ were just in a casual conversation at the time. And she looked at me talking to JJ and she said, actually, just do that.
Yeah.
And walked away, because you didn't have to force chemistry with JJ and I. And we got very lucky with that. Is every like sparkle in the eye you saw when I talked to him, that's just how it is with him, even to this day. It's
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's undeniable chemistry, and we were so lucky to have that,
Mm,
especially for our first project. So yeah, when I say effortless and organic, it truly, truly was on this set in every way. So,
And I think natural
yeah.
chemistry shows so much better. It does. It really does.
Yeah, people, I had someone comment the other day with the scene of JJ and I in the car. I think
Mm,
you have it on your Instagram, JJ. And someone said this should be the top video on your reel because you
mm,
haven't looked at anyone else like that, or your eyes didn't come alive until like this is your scene. And I thought, see, that shows that the audience can really feel what's going on in the moment. And sometimes when as actors, you have to give a certain look regardless, but I think people can tell when that's very organic or if it's just part of a
mm.
film. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I think it's a good reminder that the audience can feel that.
Yes. I mean, I believe that you all do your best, that you possibly can, but there's a difference between forced and natural, and it reads.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you can still make a product look good. And like I said, there's been times where I'm watching a scene that's supposed to be, if that was steamy or whatever it was, and I'm like, I felt so disconnected in that moment, but the audience is like, that's
Hmm.
so great. And I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
but there
As
is
long
a
as it's
difference.
believable, as long as it's
And
believable on
yes, like
screen.
exactly, that's
Right.
what we're doing here, but there is a difference. And we had that
Yeah.
on Hello, Let's Get Married.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
True.
agree. I
True.
agree. Okay, JJ, how did you establish your character's emotional arc across the story?
I mean, honestly, for me, like even to this day, I think everyone's got their own method, their own teachers, their own experiences, but like I really rely on the present moment. Like I don't go
Mhm.
in thinking like, oh, I'm gonna make this choice, or like I'm gonna like I see some actors they'll like write out all these storylines, they'll like fill in the white
Mm,
on the pages and stuff. But I'm not like that. It really for me personally, and hey, I'm a new actor. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and I
mhm,
I people don't think I'm great, which is fine. But I really feel kind of going back to what you and I spoke about before this call, compete with no one and no one can compete with you. They're just like each one of us have a set of fingerprints that are completely unique unto us. No one in the history of the world will ever have Kathy Mills, Peyton Tucker, or John Henry Richardson's fingerprints. And no one in the future will either. And that is true about our individual, our energy, our soul, who we are, how I'm speaking in this moment based on everything I've lived up into this present point in time. Like all of that is going to be sensed. And I feel like as long as I'm bringing an essence of that, people are going to watch me and watch us and be like, oh, wow, there's something unique there. There's something
Yeah.
different
mm.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was beautiful, and I agree. Yes. All right. John, was there a scene that required you to rethink your performance approach?
Um, yeah, actually, there was a scene in the office when
Mhm.
we're dealing with the two antagonists,
Mm,
Mm.
right? And we were experimenting with whether or not, because they were getting in the face, and do we
hmm
top them, or do we let them run out of steam and then slide in under?
Mm.
And we found that worked better
Yep.
because what we didn't want to do is if they're creating this kind of chaos, is we don't want to we don't want to jump on their bandwagon. We let them do that because
Right.
that's
Yeah.
all dark energy we don't want to get into, right? So stand back and give them enough rope to hang themselves, and that works so much better in the scene because eventually they're talking out of their asses. They know they're in trouble
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're close to being fired, and that's always the most. And it goes back to the tropes, doesn't it, Kathy? That's one of the most fun things is the comeuppance. I use that
Yeah.
expression today on the shoot on the film we were doing now, and none of the young people understood comeuppance. But
Mhm.
if you don't understand, anybody out there watching this, comeuppance is sooner or later you're going to get your bad karma paid off.
Yeah.
It's going to come up.
Mm.
So when your bad karma come
True.
up, it's your comeuppance. And that was so much fun because they were just a big fat target, weren't they?
They
That's
were.
good life advice.
They
They did a
totally
good job.
committed, they really did. They really did. They
Oh
really
gosh, no,
did.
no, I agree. That's actually really good life advice as well. So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, Peyton, what was the most rewarding? Well, sorry, what was most rewarding about working on this project?
Mm. I think I think the most I think the most rewarding thing about it was I would say connections made.
Mm,
Sure. And it was for me being new to LA. I felt like this project was like, especially once again meeting another Christian on set and stuff like that. It just felt very aligned. I felt like, when you move to a big city, and I'm from a small farm town, so moving to LA and getting pulled on these verticals within the first month, which I don't even know if I was prepared for now looking back, but getting pulled on this set, I felt like it was rewarding in the way where it was the reassurance that God didn't need to give me necessarily on moving here, but that project alone kind of solidified you made the right decision. Connections were made, and it was a very rewarding experience all the way around for me. But yeah, I would say most rewarding in who I got to do it with and the connections that were made.
I see the community for the vertical space is very close. You guys are all very, very
Yeah.
close and friendly, and I love that, so
Thank you. Thank you.
everybody makes some beautiful connections, which is great.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, JJ, how did this role push you to make more intentional acting choices?
Hmm. I think I'm really not a big choices guy. Like I'm not
Mm,
like kind of like what I said in the last answer to the question. Like I don't really go in thinking about choices. I want to go in with a sense of being. Um,
Great way to put it.
yeah, yeah. That's the most honest thing I can say.
yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, this is another joint one. Um, John, we'll start with you. What was the biggest adjustment you had to make once filming began?
Oh boy. Um, mm, mm, hmm. We'll go back to the two other antagonists again.
Mm,
When you're making a great connection, JJ and I connected, right? Peyton and I connected. It was, and you use the word organic, and I love that word. That's what we all strive
He
to
does
be,
too.
organic. And one of the reasons why, look, I've been teaching, acting for film forever and ever. And
yeah.
when JJ's saying, okay, well, I'm not a guy that works from intentions and that sort of thing, is just you got to say, okay, but what you're doing is so organic. Why do we want to mess with it? Because all we're
Yeah.
inviting you to do is get up in your head, and you don't want to get it. It's because you're not in your head. You're in your heart and
Mm,
your
Yeah.
guts and your loins. And
Yeah.
those are the centers of human response that are wonderful because you could just, come up with such incredible, organic and real moments that you weren't even necessarily planning. And so I think those are the great joys. So when you're working with actors that aren't organic, but you want to be, it's so hard to hear a false line but respond as if it's a true line. Do you know what I mean? If you don't
yeah.
believe what they're saying, then that's what you want to address, but that's not in the script.
Mm. Yeah,
So
because you have to
instead you
like
yeah,
react to
yeah,
you
so,
have to
so they're
react to
not being
them in the
organic,
scene.
they're inviting you to become non-organic.
Mm,
There are times when you have to say a line, you're not feeling it at all. You're not feeling it all, but you got to say it. But ideally, when you do
mm,
say it, you're feeling something.
mm. That would be tough.
Mm.
That would be tough. Mm. How about you, Peyton?
I I think my personal biggest adjustment was I love the director Tracy that we got to work with on this one.
Yeah.
And it could have ruined my entire day because, like I said, not super confident, can get in my head very easily, love to overthink and beat a dead horse in my mind. And I just do. And so anyway, she came up to me day one of us filming this project. I worked with her again, and like I said, this is one of my favorite directors. I would work with her 1,000 more times, but she came up to me day one and said, "Hey, can I pull you aside?" And we've done a couple scenes. And like, keep in mind, once again, first month in LA, I'm excited to be here. All my agents told me were, "Do you want to do these short series while we're, submitting you for film and TV?" And I said, "Okay, sure." So I'm just thinking they're normal series. Like, oh, it's going to be released somewhere else in a shorter span. Sure, whatever, I'm down. Tracy pulls me aside and she goes, "Hey, so have you like seen one of these before?" And John, I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but JJ knows it. And I said, "No, I haven't. I've never heard of verticals before in my life. I think they're just shorter series." And she goes, "Yeah, well, I can tell you're really trained, and that's just not what we're doing here." And I said, "Oh."
Oh,
And like, so in my head already. And I said, I mean, what a compliment now. I told my acting instructor in Nashville, who I just came from training, and he said, "We will take that as a gold star for our studio." And so really funny. But I said, "Oh, okay." And she goes, "For real short, especially, we are looking for, if you feel like you are going too far to the right with this character, the client's going to love it." And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to sell my soul the first month here of all my training and leave it out there. And then you understand the tone and it doesn't feel as uncomfortable. But that was a big switch for me coming from film. Really, proud of the training I just got of being as subtle as possible, making every moment look as real as possible. That's what I'm trained to do, to going from, "Hey, we need you to like throw coffee in a girl's face and do this dramatic face." It just really felt like theater again.
Yeah.
And that was a big switch for me to understand the tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
I can
challenge, but
understand that.
now I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could have thrown you back completely if you didn't have the right person there to navigate your emotions from that point,
Yes, it
but
almost did.
yeah.
And then I was like,
Mm.
okay, you just gotta, and I do think I have that quality, thank God, but sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches and
Yeah.
go with the workday. And, other people were relying on me that day. And so I made some adjustments, but even looking back at that project, I think I stayed pretty true to myself at the same time. So I'm proud
Yeah.
of the adjustments I did make for them while also still staying grounded in a way.
Yeah, and taking away a very big compliment at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Yeah. How about you, JJ?
What was the biggest adjustment?
Yeah.
For me, it was just like memorizing lines, like because
Oh.
Mm.
I'd never done dialogue before. So for me, it was this idea of taking these words that someone else wrote and
Mm.
then getting them in my head, but then getting out of my head. Like getting
Yeah.
out of the way completely. And for me, like, coming from a modeling background where it's just a lot of like looks and I can like feel into a character, feel into a scene, but I'm not taking these words that, and especially vertical scripts, the way they're written, sometimes it's chat
Mm.
GPT written, or sometimes it's translated from another language.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely the biggest adjustment based on my past skill set.
Yeah.
And
I've
I, and
also
I
heard that
struggled. What's that?
yeah. Sorry, I also heard that sometimes they're rewritten a couple of times with translation. So they're gone from one translation to another and then to English, so it can get muddled up within that translation.
Yes.
Some things just don't feel natural when you say them.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Peyton really helped me through some like gnarly moments of just getting frustrated with myself, and I'm like trying to memorize 10 pages for the day, and then I've
Oh.
got this huge
Oh.
chunk and I'm just butchering it. I'm talking like I really came to appreciate editors, and I was like, man, thank God I'm more of a film actor than a theater guy, because
Try saying
No,
line when you're on stage.
I mean, I give props to you guys for even memorizing the lines because I couldn't.
it's
That's something that
crazy.
I don't
And
think
it's
that
a
I'd be able to
muscle.
do.
Oh, it
It's a
is.
muscle.
Mm,
So when people are new to acting and like how JJ was, like, you're not gonna, it's not something that just clicks.
mm, yeah.
And so yeah, that's a part of the job that is rough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially with leads when you've got so many lines and you're
yeah,
constantly on the go every day and you just don't get that chance to like, some of the background characters or like not leads, they get a chance to go for a while and memorize those lines and take a sneak peek. Whereas the leads, you've just got to keep going, you know? Um,
you have to push through.
yeah. So props to you guys for that because I could never do it. Okay. Um, Another joint question. So, John, we'll go with you again. What did the project reveal about your strengths as an actor?
Well, it revealed that my technique is adaptable to vertical
Mm.
Mhm.
because when you grew up, when you've lived your entire life acting in the horizontal, you realize that okay, there's no such thing as a close up in theater,
Yeah.
right? But in film, the whole thing can be close up.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you got to rely on your technique. And so it was a wonderful exercise for me to get used to that. You'd have monologues, you'd have long running moments. And when you're in a close up, particularly if you know I'll always ask, what's my frame line? They say, it's here. Okay. So that's a close up. Sometimes it'll be even here, a choker. And then I'll say, okay, cool. That's when I know that I got to deliver it all to a single pinpoint on a wall because I can't have the actor there because they have two cameras there, you know.
Mm.
And so getting eye contact ever when you get your coverage is a gift, you know. So you're looking at some pinpoint on the
Yeah.
wall. I'm imagining it's JJ. I'm imagining it's it. And then you just don't blink on close-ups. One of the rules, don't blink on close-ups because your eyes are doing the talking.
Yeah.
And if you put all your money on your eyes, and you're not going to be doing all these facial things, you know. So you lock and you hunker down, you stay into whatever your technique is, and you get through it. And you can rise above bad dialogue. You can rise above anything with that, you know, because these verticals are dicey. Sometimes they're brilliantly written, and other times they don't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
But we got to act like we think they do. And so that's almost the greatest acting job is trying to make the script look good.
Is the
Sometimes.
close-ups your
That is
is
so
the
real.
close-ups your best opportunity to do subtle moments? Do you think?
What's that for me? You're asking or them?
Yeah, sorry, John, I'm asking you. So with the close-up, yeah,
Yeah.
do you think that's your best moment to do those subtle moments?
Well, there's always room for the subtle moments. Here's what you don't see enough of in verticals: subtext.
Mm,
Ain't that the truth?
Right. So I'm looking at you right now, and I'm going to say my line is written as I don't know what to do with you. Right.
mm,
Everybody I've ever worked with, well, most of the guys that I've worked with in Verdes will go, I don't know what to do with you. I don't know what to do with you. I don't know what to do with you. Nobody ever says, I don't know what to do with you.
mm,
They don't have the guts to break it, add your
mm, mm.
emotionality. No scene should ever be driven by the words.
You are so good
Yeah.
at that, John. Like, I want to applaud you on that right
Yeah.
now. And I think that's why everyone loves you. And I was blown away. I'm serious. I was blown away by your skills. Is you add so much to simple moments that could easily even be a passing scene. That's why I would love to work with you again because you add moments where if a scene was really boring, you somehow amped it up with your
Mhm.
own little things you did, or if you took your time. And you can't really teach that. It's
Yeah.
really feeling
Mm,
comfortable in yourself as an
Yeah.
artist to add those things,
Yeah.
allow yourself time, which we
Yeah.
don't really feel like we have on these vertical sets.
Yeah.
But that didn't seem to affect your performance as you really took your time. And I just want to applaud you on that, is that's what makes you a true professional.
Thanks. I worked with an actor that somehow he gets the idea that he has the right to rewrite. And he
mm.
would change the dialogue all over the place. And all he's really doing is just padding his part. And
Yeah,
meanwhile, the other actors are listening intently because they're waiting for
for their cue.
a cue line that will never come, you know, because he's rewritten.
Yeah,
And that's not. When you take a moment, even in the middle of a sentence, you can take as many moments as you want between the words because the words are so much information in the audience's ears. And they
yeah,
don't care about that. They know the story within the first 5 minutes, don't they, pretty much?
Mm,
They know where it's going, you know. And so you just got to be able to trust yourself and make it
yeah,
we never know in advance what we're going to say in
mm,
life. I know I want to tell you something, but I don't know specifically what I'm going to say. Well,
Yeah,
that's why dialogue should sound that way. It shouldn't sound so
Mm.
perfectly delivered all the time because that's not life.
because it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. I
Point.
agree. All right,
And
how
you can
about you,
have all the
JJ?
ers, us, and stuff. We did a bunch of them with Peyton, with moments with the dress. We did a bunch of moments of just
Yeah.
looks and just,
Mm.
you know, and then the next line, you know.
Yeah.
It really helped me. It really helped me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
No, I'm
you got to
glad.
free
That's
it up.
really
You got to free
good.
it up. It's pretty stiff stuff sometimes.
It is.
Yeah.
So the way
Yeah,
both
would
of you
be.
guys work, you do, that's what you exactly what you're doing. That's,
Yeah.
Mm.
that's why you're
I
right
like it
here.
when they allow you to change a word or two to make it sound more natural too.
I'm a firm believer in that. I was going to say, I won't rewrite a script,
Yeah.
but my acting instructor in Nashville always said, if you are getting hung up on this one word,
Yeah.
it will
Mhm.
do it better to just say, hey, I'm not going to say it, because you're already going to be hyper fixating on that one word that's not going to sound right. Just get rid of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Don't change the
Yeah.
story. Don't change the lines. Give your person the next cue. But if a word's
Mm.
not sticking and you wouldn't naturally say it, then F that word. Like, you
They're
don't need
usually
it.
Yeah.
pretty
You don't
cool
need to
about
say
it
it.
too, aren't they? Have
What do
you
you
found,
say?
Mm.
have both of you found, they're pretty cool about that, aren't they?
Oh, I've never
Changing
had
stuff.
anyone correct me on it. So I'm a firm believer in it. Now, would I do that on a big Hollywood set? Because some writers are like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So the vertical world is its own genre. Is you can't take those same patterns or habits, if you will, and take it on a big set in film, because some people, and there's directors known for it, if you even slightly change a wording, they're not okay with it. So, like,
Yeah.
vertical world, have fun, but that's the one time that you should feel comfortable doing that, unless you're asking a director. I have not asked a director to change anything, and it's gone good so far. But I think it's just with this genre.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be okay to change the word, even if you change it to something that's like relatively has the same meaning but sounds more
exactly.
natural.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're not
Mm.
changing the meaning of the scene. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So, JJ, what do you think your biggest strengths are from this one?
Hmm. Um, Interestingly enough, like the first thing that comes into mind specifically for this project is the concept of beginner's mind.
Mm.
I feel like being that I was so fresh and so new, I didn't have much expectation of self. I did my best just to do my best and to not be in my head. And I think, as you develop any craft, any form of craft, and in the journey of mastery, to keep your beginner's mind and to stay open and to realize that even if you're Steven Spielberg or Matthew McConaughey, or insert your favorite whatever craft, your favorite cello player, it's those that know that they can always continuously learn something new. I think that is very valuable. So I would say that, yeah, my beginner's mind on that particular project was probably one of my greatest strengths.
Yeah, I think that's the strength that you can, not so much the beginner's mind, but leaving yourself open to learning new possibilities no matter how experienced you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Peyton?
Sorry, what was the original question?
What do
So
you think your
intrigued what
biggest
everyone's
strength was?
saying. It's
Okay.
what?
Um, what do you think your biggest strength was from that
Oh,
one?
okay, thank you. Maybe my biggest strength was bringing some kind of realness to that character of Maya. So yeah, kind of what me and John talked about. I think, um, yeah, I think just because he made me aware of it, I think that was a strength I had on the set. Is hopefully you guys acting with me felt comfortable enough to be emotional or try something new or feel very connected in a scene. And yeah, that's all I can really ask for, is to make people feel comfortable and welcome on set. And so I think that's hopefully a strength of mine, is yeah, people feeling a genuine connection, so that they don't feel put in a box at all, or when they act. Because the more you like your co-stars, the more you guys all get along great. Things go a lot easier that way. So maybe just bringing a grounding energy, I would say,
Yeah.
or in hopes to.
Okay. All right. One more joint question.
Yeah.
JJ, what scene best represents your character?
Ooh. Um, Maybe the car scene.
Mm,
Yeah. I feel like that was a very honest uh scene. I feel like that
mm,
those were very honest moments. Like even like watching it back, yeah, the way that I articulated and the way that I looked up and looked off, and yeah, I felt that that was, yeah, that's my answer.
yeah. How about you, John?
Well, we don't always get a chance to correct injustices in our lives. We see them
Mm,
around us in our periphery, and we say, "Well, that's just I don't know these people," and like, you'll do it. But the scene in the office before the denouement is when basically my character hands everything not just over to JJ, but to both of them. So they're
yeah.
both going to rise, and the two that try to play the power trip get put
Mm,
down
yeah.
and cast out, and that was the most
Yeah.
rewarding time
Mm,
because I had a chance to stick up for somebody. We all
yeah.
want to stick up for somebody, but we come sometimes don't do it. And here was a perfect
Mm,
place because poor Peyton was such a wonderful victim in this because nobody wants to play victims. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like she's not the victim to the point of where they could come up and slap her, in which she wouldn't slap back. you know. But I love the way that her stature kind of rose in that scene,
Mm.
and I felt like oh,
Mm,
this is wonderful. This is okay. We know where the show's going, and it really just it had a moral to the story, and that's what we all look for.
yeah.
What was that term
Absolutely.
that you said, John? Denouement.
The denouement,
What
yeah,
is that?
denouement is the final resolution to everything.
Hmm.
It
Oh,
all French term, and it means that oh, okay, everything works out.
I like that.
yep.
Yeah.
Happily
Look,
ever
that's a
after.
nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you'll find lots if you ever listen to soundtracks from movies, you'll always find a piece toward the end that is the denouement.
Wow.
And it's
Mm,
always the sweetest, most touching, beautiful tears come to the eyes because finally, you've made it to the top of the hill. You
Yeah.
succeeded in the journey. And that's what
Yeah. That's
and
what
that
it's
was,
all about.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. How about you, Peyton?
As we were talking about this, one that comes up, and just to give a different scene, that kind of, I think, best explain the character and the challenges with playing her is, I feel like I'm a very strong person. A lot of times Tracy had to reel me back.
Mm,
And Maya was, just like John said, Maya was not the damsel in distress that you see a lot of times in the vertical characters. And I usually don't get casted as those, and probably for a reason. um, but Maya still had, even though she was very soft and sweet. I think the scene where I'm talking to um, my colleagues, so which would have been Savannah, the villain's grandmother, when I'm talking to her and my boss walks up and says, "Oh, you got an interview with Ethan Armstrong." And it's the first
mm,
time you see Maya be like, "I'm not going to take this." But she was always very classy with it. But she said, "Actually, I got an interview with Ethan Armstrong."
mm,
And it's this really nice scene. And I think it looks good on all the characters in it, where there's a dynamic shift finally of, oh, we're not going to watch this girl just be trampled this whole entire series. She has a little bit of a bite to her, but a healthy bite. And
yeah.
after my boss walks away, I love the moment where she said, "Why did you do that?" And I look at her and say, "What? Tell the truth?" and walk away.
Mm,
And I really like that in my character,
Yeah,
is it was a foreshadow of, oh, there, we're not gonna play the damsel in distress game here. But
yeah.
she did it very classy, and I think that explained Maya. She was very sweet, but yeah, there was a power underneath that needed to just be recognized later on in the story. So
Yeah. It was showing like natural confidence in the
exactly.
character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really
Yeah.
liked that scene, and I always kind of forget about it, but I think that was a
Mm,
good one for Maya.
yeah.
yes. I love that. Okay. JJ, what do you think audiences will connect with most about your character?
Honestly, and I once again like what Peyton said about how we were so blessed with the script. He's a green flag
Mm,
character. Like even
mm,
to the point, yeah, like I beat on that one guy that kidnapped her, but I didn't even really have any scenes with the villains. Like Ethan Armstrong was just a laid back dude who happened to be a billionaire. Like he wore chains, he kept his shirt open, he wasn't stuck up, he wasn't super preppy. He wasn't arrogant or full of himself. He was truly a green flag lead. And I'll be honest, like I've done 12 verticals at this point, and I've turned down 25 to 30 because
mm,
there's just so much like abuse, and there's so much like, I mean, I've been asked to play characters that are like a father who hooks up with his adopted daughter. And I get it, like to each their own, but to me that's
mm.
disgusting. And I will continue to turn down roles until I find things that align with me, mind, body, spirit, emotion. Uh,
Amen.
Yeah.
and that's, that's kind of where I'm at. And honestly, like I am a bit fed up in that way. And I know a lot of fans are talking about it. A lot of people are talking about it. I mean, even the last vertical Peyton and I did together in November, like people are trying to abort her child by beating her in the stomach with a lead pipe. Like they're just
Hmm.
things that it's like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
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 I have to admit, I was watching that one and I was just like in that scene, and I was like, oh, I don't even want to watch this.
Yeah.
The
It's a
rest of the story,
lot.
not saying the story wasn't beautiful and you guys were great, but that particular scene, I'm like, I can't watch that. Like, it's just,
It's
you know,
unnecessary.
Yeah.
it is. I mean, you can still do something that's abrupt and things like that without going that far.
Yeah.
You could have still
Yeah.
made it impactful without doing that much and doing it that
Yeah.
badly. So,
The
yeah.
issue is that in this current space and time, we are living in the attention economy.
Mm,
And people will throw in shock value. They will throw in like just the most gratuitous sexual acts just to get eyes on a project and just in the name of profit.
Yeah.
And I get it from a business standpoint. I do get it. I'm not going to lie and say I don't. But I also, it's to me, it's the same concept of the food supply. It's like we're sitting here charging more money for food with more ingredients, all these like toxins and chemical additives,
Yeah.
and we're literally we are valuing profit over people. And that's with our food and our health, and that's with our entertainment. And it's like you look around in 2026 when we're the most technologically advanced society to ever exist, yet people's mental health is like at an all-time low. And
mm,
I really believe that what we take in term, yeah, what we take in, period, what we put into our minds, what we
mm.
put into our mouths, it all comes out of us. And so, yeah, it's honestly like that's where my heart is lately, and I would say that I'm struggling with that.
Me
Look, I
too.
think the
Yeah.
best
I
thing
think
here
all.
is just to stay true to yourself and do what you believe is right for you. And, in the entertainment thing, like you said, you turned down some. And
Yeah.
that's really good that you feel that you don't have to do those. I mean, to stay true to yourself. And that's important.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
There
And,
are times when I feel like we're being used to sell their propaganda.
mhm.
I second that. I concur. I mean, yeah, I could get into like, yeah, thoughts that I have that would offend the entire market, but I believe that there is a real truth to what John is saying.
You see it
Yeah.
there. And the idea of when people say, every time you say, why the slapping? Why the abuse to women? Oh, hey, it's really popular in China.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Chinese men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chinese women are no different than any other, you know, culture. They're women and they want to be respected and they don't want to be victimized. What's so hard to understand about that? So
Yeah.
I just feel like trying to put their pablum in our mouths so it will sound more palatable is about the darkest thing you can imagine. I don't want to
Mm.
contribute to that, and yet sometimes I feel like I am.
I think the
Yeah.
most upsetting part about it is people are still watching it. I don't think things will change unless people stop watching.
Well, some of them will say, I need this.
Mm.
I need to keep watching. And sometimes maybe
Yeah.
it's because I've been there and it's healing, or thank God
Mm.
I'm not the only one that has been victimized. Look at these beautiful young people are getting victimized. Okay, I'm not so bad
Mm.
after all. I mean, there's some kind of a therapeutic thing, um,
Mm.
but I don't understand it myself.
No, me neither. All right, let's go to Peyton now. What's one lesson from this that you'll carry with you in future roles?
Maybe just a yeah, still just find you can go on set with an idea of exactly what you want to do. I'm not that kind of actor either, to be honest. But you can go on set with an idea of what you think will work, what you like, and then the director can have a totally different vision, even if you're really proud of that or you feel like, no, this is working. I think a great lesson is to remember like it's not all about us. We're such a small factor, the actors. And, when you're on set and you're working on these things, you understand how little you are on a set. I don't care if you're a lead or not. There's people depending on you. You can have an idea in your head, but at the end of the day, there's so many variables to what's going on. There's people behind the people even instructing you saying, we need this shot, or we need this as clients, or this is how we want you to deliver this line. And you're like, really? I thought it was working my way that I walked in with. And so I think a good lesson is to, which I was proud about in Hello, Let's Get Married, is stay true to yourself, find those moments of realness. But also don't come into a set expecting that you know exactly how that day is going to go and that everyone's going to love the choices you make on it. You have to, that would be great. That is not the industry we are in.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to be able to adapt and you have to be able to collaborate. And it's not all about me. Because I was thinking, I got this going on. Hello, let's get married. So to then be pulled aside and be like, this isn't working, and I'm thinking, oh my god, I feel great about it. What a humbling thing, and what a great lesson on, oh, there's a way bigger picture than what I'm doing here. So I think I've took that with me since, is trying to respect the client, but also and the people who put me in that position, but also trying to respect myself. And it can be a hard balance to find when it comes to choices and delivery of lines. But yeah, and I think I'm still learning how to do that. But that would be my biggest takeaway from Hello, Let's Get Married.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we're on a time limit, so I've got one more joint question. JJ, we'll start with you. What was learned during this project that you will carry with you forever?
Mm. I'd say just how to conduct myself on set. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, like it's a little different. You coming from the modeling world, and in Ashton Kutcher's words, you're a glorified coat hanger.
Mm.
And in the acting world, there's a lot of modeling it's all about, to go into that further. It's all about your image. It's just your look. Like if you gain 5 pounds, there's a good chance that you're not gonna be booked for a certain campaign. But with the acting world, it's much deeper. You get to really show the world your soul and your personality, and what is inside of you and has always been inside of you. And so, yeah, I think I've just realized, like, even as a lead, it's important to conduct yourself on set in a way where others are being seen and heard. Like my buddy, I was walking with my buddy today, and he said most people just want to be heard, um, and hear the words "thank you" and "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think conducting myself in a way where I'm doing my absolute best to remember people's names, and I'm coming up to the grips and the swing, the G&E swings, people who, are kind of just like flies on the wall doing their job. That a lot of times those particular roles, in my experience, don't even talk a whole lot. But to
Yeah.
conduct yourself in a way where those people feel seen and loved on, I think that is probably what I really learned from that first set.
Yeah, I think learning somebody's name is the most meaningful thing you can do to anyone. Like just knowing that they're appreciated is I mean, the amount of sets that you guys go on, it's probably hard to remember every single body's like name, but it's important
Yeah.
to, and they feel appreciated. So
They're also an
yeah,
international blend, so you don't always have a Joe, Bob, June, and sometimes
yeah.
that 3 or 4 syllables, that name.
How about you, John? What do you think?
Well, I think the overall is it's a repertory. Okay, it's a repertory ensemble. We're all part of the same team. And so respect must be given. I wish they would give you name tags on the first day.
Oh, me
Everybody
too.
has name tags just on the first day, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
you're not labeling, it's just, oh, hi, so you're now on good, now I'll know. Take
Yep.
the
Mm,
name tag away the next day, and from then on, you don't need it. But it makes a world of
Great
difference
idea.
because you do want to meet people. You want to say, hi, I'm John, and I'm doing this, and who are you? And they'll tell you,
Yeah.
but then you got to remember. And
hmm
after 2 people, I can't remember who I talked to. I'm not really good at that, you know. So I said, could you just write your name down and wear it here? And I'll just, I think that would be helpful. No, the mutual respect is what it's really all about. If it's a we and not an I,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
because
Absolutely.
I think people hear I too much, from actors.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. From anyone. From
Anyone,
anyone.
tis true.
Yeah. All right, Peyton, how about you?
I think I started this question, didn't I?
No, I think JJ did. It's like, what's the thing that you take with you forever from this
Oh, take with me
project?
forever. I was stuck on the lesson. I'm sorry. Take with me forever. Hmm. I I'm gonna go back to, and I'm not even trying to sound cheesy, but I think that it was such a moving experience as far as like the connections um, that I made on that set. So I think I'll take that with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having this interview, guys. I know it was a bit of a, thing trying to get this all organized, but I appreciate you all finding the time.
Oh,
Thank
thanks for
you so
staying
much for
honest.
having us.
Thank you.
Anytime.
You were so sweet. You had to keep rescheduling and keep rescheduling. And I thank you so much. Really wonderful.
You're
Great
welcome.
to see you guys. It was a great reunion.
Yeah, you
That
too.
was so nice.
I look forward to when they start doing Verdes and they have second seasons and a third season
Oh,
and a
wouldn't
fourth
that be
season.
nice?
Let's run it back.
It
we
could
could
happen. It
we
could
could
happen.
end this series on us finding out we're pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
yeah, we always joked about that where it's like, hey,
Yeah.
there's a cliffhanger, but
Yeah. 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 That's what you
yeah.
want. Just a
But you know
reason to
one
come
good thing
back
though?
again. Yeah.
It's good that they didn't leave a cliffhanger, so everybody expects a second part.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. And then when we
Thank
get it,
you
it's just a
for
treat.
yes, I agree. Thank you so much for having us, Kathy. This was
Yeah.
so
Thank you for your
nice.
hospitality.
Thank you.
Anytime. You guys all have a good night.
We know
You
you
too.
love this business. We know you love Verdes and you want to see them get better all the time, and we're with you.
Thank you. I
We're
love
all
you
fighting the
all.
same
I'll talk
fight.
to you soon.
We love
Love
you
you.
too.
Thanks.
Bye bye,
Bye.
y'all.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
See you on set.
See you.
Yeah.